2010 MasterCraft X15. This boat is in a charcoal main and top deck stripe with a yellow upper and lower stripe with a white hull bottom. It's sitting on a tandem axle MasterCraft factory trailer in charcoal. This also has the 4-point MasterCraft factory tower with a bimini top, pair of JL tower speakers, rotating clamping MasterCraft board racks, and a tower mounted mirror. This is a 1,015 hour boat we took in on trade. Has an interesting history that we'll go through in a little bit more detail. But it's a pretty boat. It's high hours, but we've gone through and checked everything out. Everything is mechanically sound. All the electronics and accessories on the boat work as they should. And this will make a nice 21-foot V-drive boat for somebody. But we'll take a lap around, go through the exterior, and hop in the interior. But the family who owned this thing used the heck out of it, obviously with over 1,000 hours. And I'm going to get a little bit into the history. About 4 years ago, the previous owner had a type of clear coat put on the exterior, which it's pretty interesting. And when you look on the outside, there are a fair amount of scratches on the exterior. When you see that, if I can get this to focus, you can kind of see the shinier top coat, and then it's dull anywhere there's scratches on this thing. So we'll go down this outside and kind of show you what to expect. This thing has its fair share of dock rash on both sides, predominantly on the starboard side, but I'll try and point all these scratches out. So we've got there. We've got it going down in front of our graphic here, a couple spots. It's going to be hard to see this unless I stand in the reflection. Our MasterCraft decals are in decent shape until we get up forward, where this is by far the worst spot on the boat right here. So I would imagine just getting this thing into the dock, something rubbed up against it and probably left it and didn't realize it at the time, but this thing was beaten up against something. Scratched that side pretty good. Top of the bow, we've got some scrapes in the yellow stripe, and it's starting to chip. So if we can get that to focus here, trying to, hopefully you can see that. It's just starting to flake up on that top layer that they put on the boat. Do have some scratches on the lower part of the nose. Up in the bow, there are chips above the bow roller. There are some scrapes here. We'll make our way down this side. Some light scuffs on the top deck. Most of these scratches are pretty light, like you can barely feel them, so they're not super deep, but they are there. And with this clear coat or whatever you want to call it on the boat, I don't really know a good way of fixing it, at least properly. Do have a chip through the fiberglass here. And it's just all these tiny chips on the outside. More dock rash all the way down past the graphic. Then it cleans up a little bit until we get back here by the bilge. This thing, again, it's got its fair share of scratches. Tires, wheels are in good shape. Trailer's in good shape. Fiberglass fenders. Our platform, come around the corner. Corners are pretty chipped up around the outer edge of the boat, but your grip on top is in nice shape. It's not peeling up or anything. Dual exhaust. Get a prop rebuild on the prop as well. Let's hop inside, check out the interior. Transom has the step / grab handle. And here we are. Nice open seating layout in the X15. I think this boat comes in at just over 21 feet, if I remember correctly. So some good space in here because the sun pad's actually pretty small. It's not a very deep sun pad, so it opens up a lot of seating in the boat. So it feels a lot bigger than most 21-foot boats do. Your vinyl is kind of an off-white. I do know that the engine hatches have been, I believe they have been reskinned at some point because they're slightly lighter than the interior, but they are in good shape. There's actually one little thread coming loose there. Otherwise, the skins on the back are nice. On the interior, your seat bases are great. There are a couple small splits to point out. It has gray snap-in carpet. Also has a charcoal interior deck. You'll see some scratches along the seat bases on that, which I'll point out in just a second. This has the stock ballast system. So you've got, one second here, you've got the hard tanks on either side and then a tank in the belly. And then we'll go ahead and flip open our engine. So part of the story with this boat is that this engine was replaced due to heavy oil consumption. The previous owner and the MasterCraft dealer worked through MasterCraft to get a new engine put in here. And I believe that happened after about 2 years of owning the boat. So the majority of the hours, I'd say arguably about 800 or so roughly, have been put on this specific engine. It's a 5.7 liter multi-port injection from Inmar, 350 horsepower, and known to be a pretty reliable engine. So obviously they've been using it for a long time. Has fresh service, and so filters, oil, impeller ready to go for the season there. Stepping inside, seat bases, again, they're all in pretty good shape. You do have a subwoofer on this side, storage going down into the back, has a full cover with it. Access plate there, storage in the corner. You can see the ski pylon is stored down there, and then there's your ballast hookup. It's kind of a mirrored setup on the other side, so I won't open that up. All your seat bases are loose in this boat, but you have nice storage under there. Talked about scratches on the seat bases. You've got a couple on the back here. It's all pretty light. There is a light spider crack right there. Somebody probably ran a board into it, but it's pretty hard to see that. We do have a split right here at the back corner of the love seat. Seam starting to separate. We also have a couple cracks in the vinyl on the seat back in the rear corner. You actually don't have any of that on the other side. But otherwise, your main cockpit of the boat's in great shape. Deep storage continues up into the bow, and here you also have the JL amps mounted under there. Plenty of storage space. While I'm talking about this spot, we've got JL stereo in here. So you got the speakers up top with the sub in the interior, and these JLs with the tweeters throughout. Have the Clarion head unit inside. And let's see here. Does look Like, it has the tower camera. It's a pretty old tower cam. Honestly, not super useful. It does have one, and I don't know that it works. Coming over to the dash. All analog gauges with the very early medallion screen on here. Got the controller over here on the side to navigate through that. You'll see the 015 right here. That means 1,015 hours on the boat. You can go through, set your perfect pass, fill your ballast, do all that fun stuff right from the screen. Switches for everything else. Nice steering wheel, smooth steering. There's no heated seat or heater, but the switches are there. No wash down, but you do have courtesy lighting on the interior. You do have tower lights up top, and then again 3 ballast switches to fill and drain. I shouldn't say you fill the ballast from the screen, you just monitor your ballast from the screen. Use the switches for that. Driver's seat base splits along the stitching right there, but along the seat back it's pretty good. Windshield is in nice shape, no chips or significant scratches along that. And then if we come up into the bow, it's a traditional bow in the X15. Got a couple speakers and cup holders up front. And then if we open up the seats, there's storage underneath. Carpeted storage underneath there. There we go. Sorry if you guys can hear the creaking. The way I have the bow, or the jack on the trailer on the floor, it's squeaking around a little bit. But vinyl up front's great. Got the tower lights up on the front of the speakers there. Second as docking lights. But overall, interesting boat. Interior is actually in pretty darn good shape for the amount of hours on the boat. Little backstory on the engine. Obviously, outside's very interesting. But whoever ends up with this boat is going to have something reliable. And obviously, not going to be too worried about the cosmetics on it. But give us a call for more info at N3 Boatworks. It's 317-845-9253.